Let's be honest. How many times have you wished he would think about you non-stop? Not just a fleeting thought, but that deep, almost irrational craving, where every time his phone buzzes, he hopes it's you, where your absence is louder than anyone else's presence. What if I told you becoming his obsession has nothing to do with being the most beautiful woman in the room? It's not about being perfect. It's not about playing games. It's about something else entirely. And once you understand it, he won't just want you. He'll feel like he needs you. Let's break down a truth most people miss. Real attraction isn't about looks. It's about how you make a man feel, mentally, emotionally, and energetically. That girl energy you've seen, it's not luck, it's not magic. And it's definitely not just physical. It's about mastering the emotional and psychological dynamics that make a man crave you. That's not manipulation, it's magnetism. It's the kind of presence that lives in his mind rent-free. Because when you know how to tap into this level of connection, you don't chase men, they chase you. It's not about texting first. It's about making him check his phone hoping you did. It's not about being around all the time. It's about what he feels when you're not. This video is your blueprint to becoming that woman, the one he can't stop thinking about. We're diving into 4 powerful shifts that turn casual interest into lasting obsession. So if you've ever wondered how to go from liked to unforgettable, from noticed to needed, stay with me. Because once you master these, he won't be able to help himself. He'll crave you, miss you, want you. And not because you asked him to, because he feels like he can't live without you. Let's talk about the secret source of obsession: anticipation. Most people don't realize this, but desire doesn't thrive in constant access. It thrives in space, in the wondering, in the waiting, in the not knowing exactly what's going to happen next. Think about the last time you were truly excited for something. Maybe it was a trip you'd planned for months, a first date that had you buzzing, or a package you tracked every hour. What made it so thrilling wasn't just the thing itself, it was the build-up. The build-up is the pleasure. That's the power of anticipation. And it's the most underrated, misunderstood weapon in attraction. Because here's what usually happens. A woman meets a guy, likes him, and thinks the way to keep him is to always be available. Always say yes. Always text back instantly. Always be around. But that's the opposite of what creates obsession. Predictability kills excitement, and availability without boundaries dulls desire. The women who become unforgettable, the ones who live in a man's mind long after she's gone, don't flood him with attention. They give him just enough to keep him engaged, intrigued, wondering. They know that if you reveal everything too soon, there's no mystery left, no reason to chase, no emotional reward to pursue. It's like binge-watching a show that dumps all its twists in the first episode. There's nothing left to anticipate. That's why creating delayed gratification is essential. This doesn't mean ghosting him or playing childish games. It means not handing him your entire world the moment he shows interest. It means letting things breathe, not responding the second he texts, not always being the one to suggest plans, not rushing to define the relationship after 3 dates. It means trusting that space creates depth. Here's where things get magnetic. When you give a man just a taste of what it feels like to be around you, then step away with grace, he starts chasing that feeling. Not because he's being manipulated, but because he genuinely wants more. And the only way he can get more is by coming closer. It's the same reason we get hooked on stories, music, or even smells. We want to relive an experience that made us feel something. Now apply this to you. You want to create an emotional rhythm, a dance between presence and absence, intensity and ease. Texting, let him wait sometimes, let him wonder what you're up to. Plans, don't always be free. Let your calendar reflect a life that excites you, not one that revolves around him. Conversation, leave things open-ended. Let him think about what you didn't say as much as what you did. Physical presence, end the date before the energy dips. Leave while the night is still warm, so he walks away hungry for more, not satisfied and checked out. Because when he starts asking, when will I see her again? Or what is she thinking right now? That's when anticipation starts turning into obsession. Think of it like music. A song with no pauses, no tension, no drop, just constant noise becomes background sound. But a song with the perfect pause, the build, the unexpected beat, that's what hits. That's what people replay. You want to be that song. Create highs and lows, show up fully, and then let him miss your energy. A woman who understands anticipation doesn't just leave a man guessing, she makes him feel alive. Now let's be real. You might worry that pulling back means losing his interest. But the truth is, when done right, it only intensifies it. Because most women don't do this. Most women are afraid to take up space in their own lives. They're afraid to create distance because they think distance means disinterest. But the woman who knows her value, she lets the man wonder. Not because she's trying to control him, but because she's not afraid to be missed. She lives her life fully. And when he realizes he's not the center of it, he becomes desperate to earn a place in it. Here's another thing. Anticipation makes even small gestures feel monumental. A random text from you after a few days, it hits differently. A compliment? It feels earned. A night together? It becomes unforgettable. It's not about being cold. It's about being conscious of your power. Because obsession doesn't grow from overexposure. It grows from contrast. You are the spark, the experience, the unexpected. So let him chase, let him wonder. And in that space between what he knows and what he feels, he'll fall. Let's strip it down to something most women overlook. Physical attraction might catch his eye, but it's emotional and intellectual connection that keeps you in his mind and in his heart. Because men don't just get addicted to your body. They get addicted to how you make them feel. You could be the most stunning woman he's ever met, but if you don't stimulate his mind, if you don't make him feel emotionally safe, inspired, or seen, that desire fades fast. Now think about it. What really sticks with you after a date? It's not what they wore. It's not even how they looked. It's that feeling, that moment when you felt like someone got you, when you laughed so hard it echoed in your chest, when the conversation flowed and you lost track of time. That's what creates obsession. A man can admire your beauty, but if he doesn't connect with your mind and soul, it's temporary. So how do you build that emotional and intellectual pull? Start with curiosity. Ask questions that go deeper than how was your day, questions that make him reflect, that show you're listening, that show you see him, because when you show genuine interest in who he is, not just what he does, it sparks something real. Next, bring opinions, thoughts, a perspective. You don't need to agree with everything he says to be attractive. In fact, the opposite is true. When you challenge him in a way that's playful, confident, and grounded, it draws him in. It's rare. And men remember rare. You become a conversation he wants to continue, a mystery he wants to understand, a challenge that excites him instead of threatens him, because emotional chemistry is more than just feeling good, it's about feeling something deep. And here's the truth. Emotional safety is sexy. Most men aren't used to being truly heard. They're used to surface-level conversations, to women who want to impress them instead of connect with them. But when you create a space where he feels safe to drop the act, to be real, to be imperfect, you become different. He starts associating you with that sense of peace and warmth. And it's not just pleasant, it's addictive. Let him open up without interrupting. Let him share something vulnerable without jumping to fix it. Just be there. Let your presence speak louder than words. Because when he links you to that feeling of emotional safety, to being understood and not judged, that's when you stop being just another woman. You become a need. And the more you tie yourself to his emotional experience, the harder it is for him to imagine life without you. Now, intellectual attraction. This isn't about quoting philosophy or solving equations. It's about being interesting, engaged, passionate about your own life. When you talk about something you love, art, travel, ideas, your purpose, your eyes light up, your energy changes, and that's magnetic. Men don't just want beauty. They want intrigue. They want to feel like they've discovered something rare, someone with layers, someone who offers more than what meets the eye. Because what keeps a man up at night thinking about you isn't how your dress hugged your hips. It's the conversation you had that he can't stop replaying, the idea you shared that made him question something, the look in your eyes when you spoke your truth without apology. It's the feeling of I've never met anyone like her before, and it goes deeper. Let him see your depth without revealing everything. Let him notice the way you think, the way you frame the world, the way you notice things most people miss. Be witty, be soulful, be unexpected. Create moments where he forgets to check his phone because he's too wrapped up in you. And don't be afraid of silence. Sometimes the most powerful emotional connections are built in the quiet. When you're both just there, fully present. That's when he starts to feel it. This isn't just another interaction, this is an experience. That's what emotional and intellectual connection creates. And it's the secret to becoming unforgettable. Because while looks can attract a glance, depth holds attention. Be the woman who makes him think, who makes him feel, who makes him want to step up, not because you asked, but because he feels compelled to. And once you reach that level of connection, He won't just crave you. He'll need you to feel alive. Let's talk about what really lingers: sensation. Because while thoughts fade and conversations blur, the way you make someone feel in their body, that leaves a mark. This is where sensory seduction comes in. It's not about being overtly sexy. It's about knowing how to engage his senses, how to imprint on his memory so deeply that he feels you, even when you're not there. Think about the smell of someone's cologne years ago that instantly transports you back, or the song that triggers a specific memory, like a mental time machine, or that one touch that made your entire body pause for a moment. This is what obsession is built on, moments that feel like more than just moments. Let's start with scent. Your scent is one of the most underestimated forces in attraction. A signature fragrance becomes a personal energy field. When a man associates your presence with a specific, soft, lingering scent, it becomes you in his mind. And it doesn't have to be overpowering. In fact, subtle is stronger. A hint of your perfume on his jacket, the way your shampoo lingers on a pillow, the softness of your skin mingled with your natural scent, that's unforgettable. Why? Because smell is directly connected to memory and emotion in the brain. It bypasses logic and hits feeling instantly. When he catches that scent again, anywhere from a passerby to a memory, it triggers a flood of desire. Now let's talk about voice. Your voice is your emotional fingerprint. It's not just about what you say, it's how you say it. The rhythm, the warmth, the tone. A voice can calm, it can excite, it can tease. Speak with intention. Slow down. Let there be rhythm and space in your words. Don't rush to fill silence. Own it. If you speak with a touch of mystery, softness, and certainty, your voice becomes an experience. One he'll replay in his head even when you're gone. Want to take it further? Use your voice to tell stories. Share details that activate his imagination. Paint a picture, not just with words but with emotion. Make him see you even with his eyes closed. That's power. Now, touch. And here's the trick. It's the almost touch that holds the power. A light brush of your hand, a fingertip resting on his arm for just a beat too long. The way your leg brushes his under the table. Not on purpose, but not entirely accidental either. Touch is primal, but the anticipation of touch is intoxicating. When you're constantly in someone's space, always hugging, always clinging, touch becomes background noise. But when it's rare, intentional, unexpected, it becomes electric. Leave gaps, let the tension rise, let him wonder when the next touch will come. That tension, that's what drives obsession. And then, there's eye contact. This is where real seduction happens. Locking eyes for just one moment longer than expected, holding his gaze without flinching, letting your expression stay soft, knowing, just a little mysterious. Eye contact says, I see you, I'm here, I'm confident. And most importantly, it says, you don't intimidate me. That unshakable presence, that quiet confidence, it's magnetic. And when you add the tiniest smile while looking at him, like you know something he doesn't, that's the stuff men lose sleep over. Now layer all these senses together. Let's say you lean in to tell him something. He catches your scent. Your voice is low, warm, slightly teasing. Your eyes lock onto his. Maybe your fingers graze his wrist. That's not just flirting. That's a full body memory. And long after you leave, his body remembers. This is what most women miss. They think seduction is about being physically available. But real seduction is about creating moments that trigger emotional memory. It's the whisper of presence you leave behind. It's in the way you leave a conversation just before it peaks, so he's left wanting more. It's in the silence between texts, the gap between touches, the mystery in your gaze. That's sensory seduction. And here's the final layer contrast. Don't be one-dimensional. Don't be the woman who's always soft or always mysterious or always flirty. Be a symphony. Let him experience the unexpected. Be playful, then deep. Be warm, then cool. Be quiet, then bold. That contrast is what keeps him curious, keeps him feeling. Add moments of unpredictability. Whisper something unexpected. Touch him when he's least expecting it, then walk away. Break a pattern he thought he had figured out. Because when he can't quite figure you out, but he knows he wants more, that's when obsession begins. And never underestimate stillness. Silence. Stillness mixed with energy creates intensity. When you sit across from him and simply hold his gaze with a small smile, no words, just presence, that moment becomes unforgettable. Because it's not about doing more. It's about doing just enough. He doesn't want constant stimulation. He wants to feel something real. And when your presence hits his senses in just the right way, he won't just desire you, he'll ache for you. That's the power of sensory seduction. Let's get into the most magnetic force of all, your energy. Confidence isn't about volume. It's not about walking into a room and demanding attention. It's about walking into a room and not needing attention, because your energy speaks before you do. A woman who knows her worth doesn't have to prove it. She doesn't chase. She doesn't compete. She simply exists in a way that draws people in. And here's the truth. Men don't just become addicted to women. They become addicted to the way a woman makes them feel about themselves when they're around her. If being with you makes him feel energized, respected, seen and challenged in a beautiful way, he won't want to lose that. So what does this energy look like? It's in the way you carry yourself, how you sit without fidgeting, how you make eye contact without flinching, how you let silence be a comfort, not a threat. It's in the way you smile because you feel good, not because you need him to approve. It's in your posture, your walk, your stillness. Confidence is calm. It's anchored. It says, I'm good either way. And that's irresistible. Here's the truth. Neediness repels. But detachment with warmth, that's seductive. You're not cold, you're not distant, but you're whole, with or without him. You don't need his validation. You don't wait by your phone. You don't shift your schedule for crumbs of his time. You're already full. He's just the bonus. This is why some women become unforgettable. They don't beg for energy, they bring it. They don't convince, they allow. And they don't try to impress, they express. Because the most attractive thing a woman can be is in love with her own life. A woman who's passionate, driven, curious, who lights up from within. When you radiate that kind of energy, men feel it. They may not be able to explain it, but they're pulled toward it. Now, let's talk about what blocks this energy over-explaining, over-giving, overthinking. If you find yourself explaining why you haven't texted back, or giving too much too soon, or analyzing everything he does, it's time to pause. Confidence doesn't explain, it simply chooses. And when a man senses that you're rooted in your own decisions, your own joy, your own center, he feels safer, more drawn in, more connected. Not because you're doing more, but because you're doing you. And here's a secret most women never hear. Confidence isn't loud, it's quiet certainty. It's the way you choose who gets access to you. It's knowing your standards. It's trusting your intuition. It's walking away when something doesn't feel aligned, not because you're punishing him, but because you respect yourself. And that self-respect, that's what changes the entire dynamic. Because now he has to rise to meet you. Now he's wondering what makes you so certain, so calm, so magnetic. Now he's hooked, not on the idea of winning you, but on the feeling of being around you. Presence is power. Your energy isn't just a vibe, it's a frequency. And when you master your energy, you don't have to beg, perform, or chase. You just show up fully, authentically, unapologetically, and he'll feel it in his bones. Want a quick confidence reset? Do something that has nothing to do with him. Go out alone. Say no to something that doesn't excite you. Wear something just because it makes you feel amazing. Make decisions without second guessing. Move like someone who already knows she's enough. Because you are. The goal isn't to become someone else. It's to come home to yourself. When you show up as the most honest, grounded, magnetic version of you, that's when people really see you. And the right man, he won't just see it, he'll feel it. So let's bring it all together. If you want to become the woman he craves, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and energetically, it's about more than just appearance. It's about mastering the 4 shifts. Anticipation. Let him feel the thrill of wondering what's next. Emotional and intellectual connection. Make him feel seen and deeply understood. Sensory seduction. Engage his body and memory with presence, touch, and tone. Confidence and presence. Radiate the kind of calm power that pulls him in effortlessly. These aren't tricks. They're truths. And when you embody them, you don't just attract. You leave a mark. You become the woman he replays in his mind. The one who lives in his thoughts. The one he doesn't want to go a day without. And if you're ready to keep evolving into that woman, your next step is already waiting. Click the link. Watch our next video on how to become an unforgettable woman. Because when you stack this emotional energy on top of today's attraction power, he won't just want you, he'll never forget you. And if this video helped you, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications.